You know what? When you have great sex in a godly marriage, it means that you learn what are the needs that your spouse has. And we know that men and women are different. How many of you would agree that we're different? Yeah. In fact, are there any brain surgeons in the room? Okay, then I'm an expert. What we know is there are two different hemispheres in the brain. You all know that, the left and the right. And one kind of controls feelings, the other kind of cognitions and thoughts and logic. And then in between those two hemispheres is something called the corpus callosum. And that is like a highway of nerves that just sends impulse and signals between the two hemispheres, which is why a woman can be very logical and then be very feeling oriented. And kind of go back between the two. Now, women's corpus callosum, when we do brain surgery, not when I do brain surgery, but when somebody does brain surgery, they learn that corpus callosum is very thick because women are very adept at going between the two. Men aren't so adept, it's very thin. It's kind of like having one oar in the water, in a canoe. We're just kind of stuck with just that one aspect of life. But here's what I know, is that even though we are different, if we treat our spouse the way we want to be treated, we may miss the boat on meeting their sexual needs. And so we want to talk to you about what some of those sexual needs are because we're just so different.
We are very different. In fact, that's when it really does break down, is when I assume you're thinking just like me or you're thinking I think just like you.
Yes.
When you study your spouse outside of the bedroom and you see those differences and then you begin to apply those once you are with your spouse, it's very helpful. Guys, I'm going to give you a great big secret right now. As we begin and as you learn about your wife. Are you ready? When your wife feels your security and that she can trust you and that the environment, you are thinking about her, you're connected to her,
Yeah, baby.
then she's wholeheartedly all in. But if she doesn't sense the trust or she doesn't feel like all systems are on the same page, then it could be there might be a little bit of an alert for her. It might feel more like that danger thing. So guys, help your wife experience the trust and the security. Also, usually in marriage, one of you are more gifted with communication. You're the one that can teach the other person in the marriage how to open up, how to take risk, how to be real, how to be safe with failure, and how to be yourselves. And so as we lead and learn from one another, we're making our marriage tighter with a sacred fire around our marriage on the outside, protecting it, and more intensive on the inside.
You're pretty good at describing this. So, Barb, part of what you're saying is when there's security in the marriage, that will kind of spur you to want to respond to me sexually.
You know what?
You're right.
Yeah.
It's
So
scary.
if I take care of Mama takes care of me?
That's right.
Okay, yeah, just a little thought. Lighten up, people. Okay, that was a good thought.